channel. Let's continue our demo on secure production grade deployment of a microservice on Kubernetes cluster. In our previous video, we look at the requirements. Now we're going to look at how this requirement was implemented. Like I said, you can also implement this project without considering cloud costs. Like I said, we started with kind cluster and I migrated then over to EKS cluster. So you can also do that. Now to use kind cluster, you're just going to kind installation. When you click on it, it's going to open you this page and it's very easy. On this page, you will find various ways to install kind, on various operating system. So on Mac OS, you just use install kind, very easy. Or Windows, you're going to download Chocolatey. Then you follow the various commands to install it. And when you are done, you want to create a cluster very easy for you to do. What you just have to do is just create cluster, then you give it a name, and that is all. You are good to go. Then if you want to create a cluster with your own modification, then you have to define a YAML file, then create the cluster using that YAML file. Like the cluster I'm using now is kind cluster. So let's begin. Now, first of all, we're going to look at the requirement again and see the first thing that was required from us. Then we'll pick it up from there. Now, when you look at the requirements, what was required from us is you build an end-to-end secure CI/CD pipeline that automates, can validate, and deploy containerized applications. Then, for the technical requirements, which we are going to start from, CI/CD implementation, we have to implement the SAST, static application security testing, using any tool of our choice. Pipeline must fail with high or critical vulnerability are detected. So let's look at the pipeline and let's look at the folder structure. We have the structure, that's project. Then under it, we have our GitHub folder, .github folder, and under it, we have workflow folder. And inside the workflow folder is where we have our ci.yaml, which is the workflow pipeline. Then we have our project. Under general info, we have our projects. Then we have project known, which is the project we are currently working on. And we have government API. We have low validator API. Like I said, we're going to look at more on this folder as we proceed with the project. Now let's look at our CI/CD pipeline. Now in this CI/CD pipeline, if you can see properly, we have the name of our CI/CD pipeline, which is the first thing that normally starts a CI/CD pipeline for GitOps workflow, GitHub Actions. We have secure loan app CI/CD is the name. And here we see what triggers the pipeline. When there's a push to the branch name, and when there's a pull request to the branch main, the pipeline is what? Triggered. Then we have the permissions. Now, what is the access of these permissions? So that our runner will be able to talk to maybe other repos for this content, and able to push to other repo or post, and also for these packages, maybe able to push to Docker Hub and so on. And for this ID token, we'll be talking about OIDC and the rest. So those are just permission for our runner to be able to perform for sensitive things. Then we have our env, Docker registry. Of course, we are using Docker and Docker Hub. We'll look at those things again when we are looking at building our image and all. And in the Docker, of course, you store your Docker Hub username using the secret.dockerhub.username. Then, of course, we have the repository. We have government API, Lombardity API, and my manifest repo, where I store all my configuration for my manifest and Argo CD, because he's going to push the image tag to that repo. So now let's look at the various jobs. When we say jobs, it means what is going to perform as name apply. So under jobs, we have steps also. But these jobs have a name of SAST code security scan, and we also on Ubuntu latest. This is the machine we are using. Then we have the various steps. And the first steps here is that what? Action checkout. What we mean by this is that it checks out the repository. It pulls the repository to the runner, to this Ubuntu runner that is going to run your jobs. It pulls this present repository that you are in, pulls it into the runner. Now, GitHub Action has what we call actions. And this means that people has already abstracted a lot of things you are supposed to do. For example, if you are supposed to check out this repo now, we're supposed to write some lines of script or code. Well, people have abstracted that, and all you just have to put here is just to write actions checkout, and it will check out this repository and put it inside this Ubuntu latest, and we need to run whatever is going to run. And you can see a lot of actions in GitOps marketplace. So let's quickly continue. Now we're going to, another thing is going to run also, another name for this step is run same grip SAST, and it's going to this another action which also helps to what? Install this same grid. This same grid is a what? It's a tool for scanning our project, for running SAST scan. So the tool with this action, it installs it, it puts in the necessary programs and packages. Like I said again, this is something you are supposed to do with a lot of code and bash script, but then actions, people are very free to abstract them, and with just writing this uses the action, it helps towards perform those tasks. So what it means here is that it's going to run security audit, specific Golang, because we use Golang, that's why we have it there, and also we're going to start for Docker, are critical, but we won't concern much ourselves with same grip or much of what? Sonar Cloud. So Sonar Cube, Sonar Cloud, we're using the Sonar Cloud, the cloud version of Sonar Cube. We can also have Sonar Cube installed in our server and be able to run, SAST analysis for us. So code quality and smell for us. So here you also use what? GitHub Actions. You also use an actions again, and this action will help you towards abstract a lot of things that you're supposed to use your code to do in this word for this Sonar Cube scan. So we have GitHub token. We're going to store this in our repository secret, and also the Sonar token. Then of course, these are the argument that is needed for you to be able to what? Run your what? For Sonar Cube to be able to talk to your projects and be able to what? Run scan on your project to check for vulnerabilities and to check for security and all errors, issues with your code. Now, let's quickly look at Sonar Cube, and of course, look at the socks, which is going to look at. We have already said general info project. This is directly going to check and be able to run scan on those files in this directory. Now, let's look at how you can set up your Sonar Cloud and be able to get those various parameters and be able to store them in your GitHub repo secret. So let's quickly look at that. And when you go to Sonar Cloud, you just type sonarcloud.io, because I've already been using it. So it just directed me to my project. But it's going to ask you for authentication, and you can authenticate using your GitHub. That is the best thing to do. You authenticate with your GitHub, and when you do that, it's going to take you to this page. And what you just have to do next is just click here, and you click on this plus sign, and you create a new organization. So I click on that. Let's see. So when you're creating a new organization, you create one manually. So when you create one manually, you give it the name of the organization. Let's say loan app. So after creating your loan app, you go down. Of course, it's for free. You select free, and you create what? Organization. So you have done the first part, which is creating an organization. The next thing you will do now is to create your what? A project. So simple, like you create another organization also, it's very simple to do. You just click on analyze a new project. Then this is the organization. You have populated that. Then what is the project name? Display name, you put loan app again. Be mindful of those names you put. Then of course, the project key is very important. So be mindful. So we put loan app as a what? Project key.
project visibility, click public, click next, and you click previous version. And voila, you click create project. So you have created a project. Now choose your analysis method. So we are using GitHub Action. So we just click on what? GitHub Action. What is going to do? It has generated this Sonar token. So you copy this Sonar token. Copy Sonar token is what you're going to use on your GitHub repo. When we look at the GitHub repo, I'll show you the secret and I'll show you how to create secret. Very, very easy. So use Sonar token. Then of course you check which code do you want. Is it scanning for you? For us is Go. So you click others. It's going to generate, our Linux runner. So runs on Obitolite. So it's going to just generate how you should, steps to follow while running it. So this is what it generated for us. So you can copy this code and just drop it there. And also project key and organization. I'll also show you and this is what we did here. There we project key and organization. So we have to just store these things on what? On our what? Repo. So Sonar token, then the project folder. So that is just it. So now let's quickly go to our repo before we now look at how the scanning went. So let's quickly look at our repo and see what Sonar Cloud did for us. So we quickly look at our GitOps actions. So the pipeline has built, so run successfully. And then you see the first thing is to SAST code security scan, the name you give. So we have it here. Of course, the various steps you put, those are what is here. And first of all, you see you run same groups scan, so many scan update and all from same group. Then of course you are particular about Sonar Cloud and you run Sonar Cloud. And you see, you run Sonar Cloud. What happens is as it's running, Sonar Cloud picks your project and Sonar Cloud begins to scan your project for you. But then before we look at Sonar Cloud, let me quickly show you if you want to create a GitHub secrets, repo secret. Just click on settings and you come to secrets and variables, actions, because the secrets are for your actions. For example, look at the secret I created. You can add new repository secret, and that is all. And also you need a GitHub token. You also create a GitHub token. Very, very easy to create. So without wasting much of our time, let's look at how Sonar Cloud scan our project. Very beautiful. So you come here, you just you can click on the organization. I use that project for my organization. Then it's going to show you the project. It will show you some view more. Then you can look at the issues. So it's going to give you the issues, high, low, medium issues. You're going to see them more. Then you're going to see the security. So we have high issues, we have medium, we have low issues. We can all check them there. Then you can able to check out some things and call the attention of the developer to, look at those issues. Then of course we have the security hotspot. I purposely pushed a file that contains password, and you see Sonar Cloud was able to detect it. Of course, they are going to use external secret for these, and we need to put this file. But Sonar Cloud was able to detect it and able to tell you. So in such situation, you can simply reach out to the developer and said, "Oh, you have pushed a sensitive key to GitHub, and you have to remove and replace immediately." So that is it for today for the SAST scan. So we're going to look at next on how to build our image and the various tools we use for scanning, TV, XBOM, attachment, cosine, and all. We're going to look at that in our next video. Now, if this video was helpful to you, please follow, like, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.